Lieutenant, it's good to see a soldier of your reputation slumming with us out here in the wilds of Taris.
There are important objectives here for our war with the Empire.
Well, whatever brings you here, I suggest you don't stay long. We barely got stores enough for our station soldiers, much less visitors. At this rate, I've got men scalping ration cubes for a half-week's salary.
If the outpost's in trouble, I'd be happy to help.
I just might take you up on that. Our bases here are far from self-sufficient. We're not farmers, and there's no existing infrastructure here to work with. We're at the mercy of our supply ships, and this month just went nose down in some of the worst territory on Taris.
Where's the ship? I don't care if it's at the bottom of a swamp.
The Republic thanks you for your service. Our men tried to reach the ship once, but they turned back after taking serious casualties. They said it's more than just rat ghouls, but couldn't make an ID. If you still want to go, you'll need to talk to our quartermaster at the supply shed across the base. She's got the exact coordinates of the crash.
Excuse me, Lieutenant. The Republic told me you might be able to help with a difficult situation. They say you are a most reliable operative on Taris. Have you heard anything about titroxinate being sold on the black market?
What's titroxinate?
Titroxinate was the pre-patent name for the weaponized agent we think was responsible for the rat ghoul plague. The Empire could fashion it into a terrible weapon, turning our soldiers into monsters and setting them against us.
Where's the arms dealer who's selling this stuff?
I'm more worried about his source. Trace the original titroxinate samples to an old Chemworks factory. It's overrun with Nexu. We can't get near it. If you can retrieve any canisters that remain, the Republic will see you're well rewarded for your effort.
And you're just going to make this all better, huh?
Usually people are happy if I come to make things better.
I'm Karen Wet, Quartermaster. Commander Gardet just called to say you're retrieving our supplies. For which, by the way, I and the rest of the troops here humbly thank you. But I don't want Commander Fatpants to think it means he gets away with this. Embezzle the Republic's money to bring in dress blues from Alderaan. But don't worry, one of our top Special Forces guys will bail you out.
That's a serious accusation.
I said over and over that the ship needed repairs. The left stasis generator was loose, and the hyperdrive motivator was seeping fluid. But Gardet had already spent our allotted maintenance budget on himself.
Are you positive of this?
I'm telling the truth. Somehow he's juggling the numbers he sends to HQ. No commander needs a personal vehicle in an outpost this size. If you can take this holo camera out to the crash site, you could get the evidence I need to get him court-martialed.
You've won me over.
Thank you. If you take holopics of the engine, I can show that the documented lack of repairs is what caused the crash. The most important thing is the supplies, though. The crash site isn't far. When you get everything, bring it back here so I can distribute it.
Ah, I see your infection is progressing. Hold still while I take samples for analysis. While I transmit the data to Dr. Sell, there are some questions I should ask. Do you have any of the following symptoms? Dizziness, fever, shortness of breath, and inexhaustible hunger for sentient flesh?
Can you do anything about these cuts? I'm losing blood here.
I'm sorry, my core function is in analysis, not trauma care. Ah, here's Dr. Sell.
Good news. Your antibody count is off the charts. I'll start work on a vaccine immediately. You are remarkably brave. Our progress has just jumped forward by years. While you recuperate, I'm going to transmit the usual secrecy agreements. Just use your thumbprint to sign on the sensor.
What do you mean, usual secrecy agreements?
This is standard procedure when the Republic develops biotech with significant earnings potential. We develop the vaccine for Republic soldiers first, and when it's proven, sell it to colonists. Until then, it's under wraps. We don't want the Exchange or the Sith funding some horrible operation with an underground version.
Lives will be lost while this profit is being made.
Tell me something I don't know. Every week we hear another Rakghoul horror story. But every colonist on the planet is going to want this vaccine. How do I tell my superiors we gave up that kind of money?
If you get a sample to the Jedi, I bet they'd find someone to make it fast.
I'll keep that in mind. We'll get this cure out one way or another. Thanks for putting yourself on the line for this. Would have taken years to do it the safe way. I don't know if Taris will ever be what it was, but now, at least, there's hope.
What do you think, Khan?
The foundation of the Taris Chemworks factory cannot be repaired. I expect total collapse within 2 weeks. Once the building falls, the stored chemicals will flood this area. They are highly toxic to humans. I am sorry.
I'll make sure there are speeders on hand, but we can't just pack up and go. Do what you can.
As always, I will pursue an alternative. Forgive me, officer. I am aware of your presence and duly respectful. However, I advise you not to stay long.
You were talking about evacuation. What's going on?
Many of these ruins are unstable. A nearby structure used for chemical storage is on the verge of crumbling. As I was explaining to my colleague, there is only one way to remove the chemicals before they spill. A burn-off. A well-armed demolitions team could reach the structure and incinerate the chemical stockpiles. I can provide the incendiaries. Unfortunately, no team is available.
You want to plant explosives around a building that's about to collapse.
Between the structural instability, the toxicity levels, and the incendiary chemicals, the mission does carry substantial risk. It is nonetheless urgent. You are not a demolitions team, I fully recognize this. But if you could arrange the burn-off, I would humbly welcome your aid.
Report your ailments. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
first step, huh?
Looking for Needles, are you? I'm afraid he's long gone, my friend.
Tell me where Needles went and you might live.
I'll need more of a guarantee than that, I think. I'll tell you everything you need to know about Needles. But in exchange, you have to let me go.
You seem to know an awful lot about my mission here.
You're wearing a Havoc Squad insignia and searching Needles' files. It doesn't take a great mind to put the two together. It's simple. Let me live, and I will tell you everything. Kill me, and you'll learn nothing.
Come in, Lieutenant. This is Sergeant Dawn. Do not trust this man. I served with him in the Empire. His name is Taris.
What? Who's that? Who are you talking to? Dawn, is that you?
Taris is a mass murderer, Lieutenant, a war criminal.
I'm listening, Sergeant. Go on.
During my time in Imperial service, Taris ordered the executions of hundreds of civilian non-combatants and full-scale bombings of unarmed populations. Furthermore, these actions were committed in circumvention of direct orders from Imperial command.
I am a soldier. I do what I must to achieve my objectives, just like you, Lieutenant.
I don't kill civilians, you imp scum.
Please, listen. I'll tell you everything. Everything I know. Needles is doing experiments on the Rakghouls. He wants to understand the disease, to turn it into a weapon. He left here a few hours ago. He said he was visiting some friends in the ruptured sewer system to get more samples.
Keep going. What else can you tell me?
That's everything. That's all I know. I've given you what you wanted. Now what about me?
You can go now.
I'm glad we could work out an arrangement. Farewell, friend.
I'll see you at HQ, Lieutenant. Dawn out.
I can smell chemicals on you, but I also smell fire and smoke. Did you complete the burn-off? All the toxins and pollutants have been incinerated?
There's no doubt about it.
Nothing could please me more. Thank you. The structure will still collapse, but it shall leave no poison in its wake. Perhaps we can rebuild the area after all.
These are all the canisters I was able to recover.
Thank you. The Republic thanks you. Imagine how horrific it would be if the Rakghoul nightmare had spread to the rest of the galaxy. Please, take this for your service.
Stand by for examination and suggested products. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
We don't have antibiotics. They come on the same ship as everything else.
You're supposed to keep better tabs on that sort of thing. These men have the Cillian flu. They could die if... Lieutenant, do I read from your face that you brought welcome news?
Tell your men they're off rationing.
Not a moment too soon, Lieutenant. Let me tell you, you really saved my stripes on this one. The men came close to mutiny when I cut rations again. They knew this wasn't going to be a luxury cruise.
What do you expect? You ask your men to starve while you eat bantha steaks from off-world.
These pictures prove you knew the ship was damaged, and you sent it anyway.
They're going to Republic Command, along with my documentation of every personal purchase you've made. These men left their families and risked their lives to come here. If they die, it should be for someone better than you.
I didn't know the ship was so bad. I thought if it was serious, they'd catch it on Ord Mantell.
The men on Taris deserve a better leader.
This is ridiculous. I did nothing wrong. Republic Command will never listen to you. I need to call them.
Thank you for all your help. But there may be something else, too. Normally, our 4th outpost comes here to pick up its supplies. But their convoy never arrived this month. I'm afraid something happened. They need to be found.
Just tell me where to look.
You've got to be the best friend these soldiers ever had. The route between the outposts runs along Lake Brel. Not the best planning. There's Rakghouls there, and a Nexus spawning ground, and worse. Usually the convoy's managed by only traveling when the sun is highest. Plus lots and lots of firepower. But if they're out there too long, well, you need to find them.
Every moment we delay risks their lives. I'll leave right now.
Whatever happened to the convoy, we need to make sure Morn Outpost gets their supplies. Sonic emitters along the route usually keep off the worst of the critters. But if they're on the fritz, that convoy would have walked into a feeding frenzy. Fix the emitters and see what you can find about the convoy. When you're done, report to Commander Yajek at Morn Outpost. And thank you.
You spared a war criminal, Lieutenant. That man murdered hundreds of people and you simply let him walk out of the Imperial's base.
I didn't want to let Thoris go free either, but it was the only way.
It was the fastest way. Not the only way. Let's move on, shall we? Lab results confirmed Thoris's account. Needles has almost completed a weaponized strain of Rakghoul disease. However, the data makes no mention of Needles' friends in the ruins of the transport system.
Do you have any idea who these friends might be?
Available intelligence doesn't show any populations in the ruins of the transport system, but scans of the area have been cursory at best. Rakghouls infest the area, making scouting by foot inordinately difficult. However, one traversable route has been located.
I'll scout the area myself.
Any geographical information you can bring back would be very helpful, Lieutenant. This ruined transport station is our only lead to Needle's location. I would encourage you to stock up on supplies and munitions before entering the area. Good luck.
We just stopped to rest. Geozel found a scratch, and we don't know if it's the Rakghoul infection, so we're waiting. And Verdone might be coming down with the Geonosian swamp flu, but we're on our way, I swear, and you're looking at me very strangely.
Are you part of the Outpost 4 supply convoy?
Yes. Private Gilrow. I assumed you were looking for us. We just stopped to rest. Sorry to trouble everyone.
You're 48 hours late. Have you been here that whole time?
Yeah. Like I said, Verdone was hurt. I mean, Geozel, and... Oh, forget it. I was never a good liar. We aren't going back. Is that what you wanted to hear? We've deserted.
What kind of man abandons his comrades in the face of such an enemy?
We're not the only ones talking about running for it. We just got the first chance. 5 years we've been out here. No break. Most of our friends have died. We're wounded. Tired. Broken. Fighting something that can't think. Can't be frightened. And if you get the slightest scratch, you become the enemy and your own squad puts you down like a dog.
You have given the Republic as much as it can reasonably demand.
You're not gonna turn us in?
You'll never survive alone out here.
We're heading back near the main base. There are scavengers with ships there. Maybe we can make it off-world. Please, tell Commander Yajek you found our bodies. That way no one will ever come looking.
Oh, excuse me. Something in the air. Spores, I think. Name's Wintag. I'm working on the Republic Teresian Archival Database. We call it RepTad. I'm assigned to explore the old city myself, but I'm not handling the change of atmospheres very well. I don't suppose you'd be up for a little job exploring the ruins? We're well funded, so I can pay you for your trouble.
Just let me know how I can be of service.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I'm talking about finding the archive set up by Taris's own government to preserve their knowledge and culture in the event of disaster. I've been working on this for years, and I believe I've finally pinpointed the location of their archive.
Just tell me where and I'll bring it back for you.
From the records, it sounds like it may be more than a simple data file. I've tried to approach the location before, but it is positively overrun with Rakghouls. I couldn't get close. If you could get past them, let my assistant know how to arrange retrieval. Her constitution is stronger than mine.
Would you like a chance to be part of one of the great mysteries of the Republic's past? We have irrefutable proof that Revan once sheltered here, soon after returning to the Republic from the Sith. There are many tales of how Revan rescued Basta Lushan and changed galactic history, but there were smaller lives touched as well.
You're talking like these are people I should know about.
Revan, the great Jedi General of the Mandalorian Wars, who turned to the dark side but was brought back to the light by Master Basta Lushan? Shameful. This is why the galaxy needs research like mine, to bring history to life for its people. 300 years ago, the outcasts of Taris lived deep below the city, where the Rakghoul plague originated. Revan's journals record bringing them a cure for the plague and leading them to the secure colony called the Promised Land. Yet we don't know if they survived.
Are you asking me to look for a lost colony from 300 years ago?
Or any sign of what became of them. My assistant is coordinating excavations. Anything you find, bring to him. Perhaps these promised ones left some record, something to talk to us across the ages.
State your business. This is a Republic military outpost, sovereign territory of the Galactic Republic. We will defend ourselves with deadly force if necessary.
First Lieutenant Havoc Squad. Most recently of Ord Mantell.
Lieutenant, welcome to our outpost. There's no unauthorized travel this far into the wilds. Best policies usually blast first, chat later. Don't suppose you were sent by Commander Gardet with news about our supplies.
Your supplies are on the way, but no thanks to him.
Sounds like there's a story there, but I won't waste your time asking for it. Let me just say thanks. Don't suppose you saw any sign of our boys. If they're still alive, they better have a good excuse for leaving us hanging.
I found their bodies along the route.
No surprise. Ah, well, they'll be missed. I'll send their uniforms home to their kin. Anyway, thanks for the help and the news. This sure won't help morale. Everyone else will just have to work a bit harder now.
Stand by for examination and suggested products. You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
Here.
Report your ailments. Stand by for examination and suggested products.
We are saved. An Upworlder has restored to us the work of my grandfathers. At last, we have a place to escape this oppressive city and the laws that keep us beneath it. A place where we can breathe.
This is a restricted area. There have been no security breaches for the past 111,325 days. Please show your credentials to enter.
Have you been guarding this place for 300 years?
That is correct. My programming appears to contain a contradiction. I'm instructed only to open this door to a member of the Tarisian government. But when the archive was brought online, all members of the ruling government were contained within. I have received no information on their successors.
What do you mean they were contained within?
I am not authorized to reveal the workings of the archive to anyone but a representative of the Galactic Republic. Is that you?
I'm a lieutenant of Havoc Squad of the Republic Armed Forces.
Excellent. Welcome to the Taris Archive. This is the ruling government of Taris, as last appointed, plus representatives of every major science and industry. Their final wish was to be thawed when Taris was once more in the hands of the Republic. Here is data on all those contained within.
I won't fail.
My programming instructions end here.
I was told you might be coming. Was there anything in the archive?
Apparently, the ancient Tarisian government thought the most important thing to preserve was themselves.
Themselves? What do you mean literally? That's amazing. All this time we've been working from old recordings and the occasional droid, when the key to the whole planet's history is right here.
This will be no secret to anyone listening, but Taris has been attacked. The upper and lower city were destroyed. We have found the Promised Land, but have nowhere to return to. If only we had arrived sooner. The Promised Land is the original Taris colony site. It was sheltered from the direct bombardment, but the quakes have destroyed every building and generator left. We must start again from scratch, but at least we have survived. The wreck ghouls are still feeding on the dead, but when the meat is gone, they will begin to hunt.
today for Rukel, who brought us out of the Undercity and into the Promised Land. We have sent scouts throughout Taris and can find no other survivors. They cast us out and bar their doors to us. But now we bury our dead in the ashes of their skyscrapers. As Rukel told us, it is not an easy life. Our children will grow up in a world of spears and bows, not blasters and starships. It is my burden to preserve our memories. Once we were outcasts. Once we were the promised ones. Now we are Taris. Are breeding back in the Undercity. They reproduced only by infecting us. But now, there are more every day. We lose people to them, a few every year, but only as meat. The serum the Upworlder brought us has held true. We do not sicken, but now the serum is gone. We have had 4 infants born who could not be immunized. All boys. We will not be able to protect them forever. We need our full strength to defend the tribe. Maybe the immunity was inherited. Maybe we do not need to worry that a bite, a scratch, will turn our children against us. Maybe I do not need to fear for my son.
congratulations to you, Ensign Sarvin, on your noble sacrifice.
It's all right. No, wait, sir, no!
Exquisite. I'll be requiring more rat ghouls for my work, Borzoth.
We already gave you the rat ghouls you asked for. When will you do as we asked?
As soon as the weapon is completed. With it, we will decimate the Republic outpost.
I smell an intruder.
So you do. Sergeant, is that really you?
I've moved up in the world since you last saw me.
So I see. You've slaughtered enough Republic enemies to be rewarded, then. Well done. I see you aren't alone. You brought that pathetic worm all the way from Ord Mantell, just to die along with you.
Talk all you want, Doran. You're not getting out of here alive.
Your timing is impeccable. Just as I find myself with plenty of pathogen but no more test subjects, you arrive. The transformation will hurt at first, but that's merely your organs rupturing and realigning. It's all over quickly, I assure you.
The only thing ending quickly here is your life.
Struggle if you must, then, but you'll wish you hadn't made it so hard on yourself. Vorzoth, please assist me in subduing our newest volunteer.
With pleasure.
I'm gonna enjoy taking you down.
Take them.
Looks like more samples of Needle's weaponized rat ghoul disease. What should we do with them?
What do you think we should do?
Well, can't hurt to take a few samples back so Research Division could take a look at them. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
No one should have a weapon this dangerous.
It's your call, Lieutenant. Let's get back to base. I've had about all the fun I can take.
I am Kuki, 14th Keeper of Memories after Rukil. We now number 53 adults and 21 children. We lost 4 able bodies and 2 child bearers to the Rakghoul virus this year. Our records say there used to be a cure. We have lost so much. Tomorrow, we leave to search for higher ground. Plants are growing. Nature has reclaimed what once belonged to men. Nature is cruel. 2 of every 3 of our babies die to sickness and hunger. If we are to live, we must rebuild our walls. We forgot. I am the memory. I have Rukil's descriptions. I know there was a city once. I know a city is many houses, many people. I am the only one. Now, there is just us. We have stopped having children. The old records say it is from toxic radiation. We once called this the Promised Land. It was a lie. It is our grave.
Your supervisor sent me. I found out what happened to your promised ones. There's no happy ending.
I knew they couldn't have disappeared without a trace. Give me what you found. Let us learn the history of this doomed planet so we don't repeat it.
Welcome back, Lieutenant. Congratulations on the success of your mission.
I'm just doing my job, Sergeant.
Your success is consistent with your unit's reputation and operational history, all highly impressive. General Garza attempted to contact you a few moments ago. I took the liberty of briefing her on your mission status.
Thank you very much.
The General requested that you contact her before departing Taris. The holocom in the next room has been prepared for your use.
I'll contact her right away.
Congratulations once again, Lieutenant.
Ah, greetings, Lieutenant. I understand congratulations are in order.
Needles is neutralized, General.
You've done very well. Needles was a brilliant man. Taking him down was no small feat. I haven't informed Cardin yet, but I doubt he'll be upset. He and Needles never did see eye to eye.
Needles was insane. I doubt anyone saw eye to eye with him.
And yet, Tavis never had any problems with Needles. Perhaps that should have been my first warning. And there's something else, Lieutenant. Tell me, what do you think of Sergeant Dorn?
Sergeant Dorn helped me when no one else would, General.
Yes, your reception on Taris wasn't ideal. I'm glad you managed to find the one useful officer in the entire outpost. I looked over her service record. Impressive stuff, I must say. Were you aware that Dorn served with the Imperial military for almost 2 years, Lieutenant?
She told me she grew up in the Empire.
Yes, the accent is a dead giveaway. Pure Droman Kos. Sergeant Dorn earned more commendations in her 2 years of Imperial service than most soldiers earn in 10. Since joining the Republic, she's earned 2 Medals of Valor, both for rescuing wounded soldiers under fire in enemy territory. This woman has led an exceptional career.
Someone with Sergeant Dorn's skills would make a great addition to my squad.
I agree. Sergeant Dorn is Havoc squad material without question. It's settled then. Congratulations, Lieutenant. You're halfway to a full squad. I'll contact Colonel Gaff to notify him about the transfer. You should go and inform Sergeant Dorn yourself, Lieutenant. Contact me from your ship when you're finished. Garza out.
Lieutenant, sir? Is there something else I can do for you?
Consider this your official invitation to Havoc Squad, Sergeant Dorn.
Lieutenant, this is the greatest honor of my career. I'm speechless.
Don't get too excited, Sergeant. It's not as impressive as it's made out to be.
Sergeant Dorn, reporting for duty, Lieutenant. I'll prepare my Regulation 6 personnel transfer documents at once.
You've more than earned this, Sergeant.
I'll gather my personal effects and meet you on board your ship, Lieutenant. Thank you.
You're a big fella, aren't you?
Yes.
Here for the Cathar settlements?
Yes.
Sure you.
Lieutenant. I assume Sergeant Dorn took the news well?
Sergeant Dorn is honored to be in Havoc Squad.
Excellent. We'll have the squad fully restaffed in no time. One other detail. Were you able to retrieve a sample of the weaponized rat ghoul disease that Needles was developing?
Needle's work was horrifying. No one will ever get their hands on it again.
That was foolish, Lieutenant. Those samples could have been invaluable for the war effort. That's all for now, Lieutenant. Congratulations once again. Garza out.